Hey guys, it's RJ here, and I'm very proud and excited to be presenting this instructional video module, which we actually have to break up into several pieces because it's such a long piece of video. This is a very, very powerful illustration of how you can use sexual metaphor along with themes to create a profoundly powerful effect. What you're going to see me is talking about themes for a little bit, and then I'm going to, in the process of describing how themes work, actually run what I think would make an incredibly powerful seduction pattern with women. Actually, what happens often when I teach is I just come up with this stuff without realizing that I'm doing it, and then later I go, damn, I should specifically teach that as a pattern. So let's get going with my commentary, and you're gonna fucking love this.
Okay, so stay away from that. Let me give you the things that really I love. I just have a few of them. I just have a few things I go to. Yeah? A really good one. Indulgence. Oh, this is a big one. Indulgence. Indulgence. Oral pleasure. So indulgence could be when you really want to just cut loose and do something that feels fantastic that you wish could go on even longer. What do you like to do?
That is an amazing question. Get a girl, try this. Just open a girl up, get her laughing for a couple of minutes, and then just kind of sit back, shift your posture, and ask that question. And just notice what happens. Just notice what happens when you ask a different kind of question. Not an average chump question, or even a guy who's curious but doesn't get it question. Ask a question that requires a woman to dive deep down into her passions and her indulgences and her fetishes in order to come up with the answer. Just watch what happens. Just do it.
You understand? That evokes the part of the imagination, the part in consciousness where she thinks about indulgence, pleasure, sensual pleasure. Now look guys, you can consider the female mind, this is only a model, I'm not saying it's true. Consider the female mind to be like a series of apartments, or an apartment with different rooms. Okay? If over here is where she thinks about eating chocolate and snacks and massage, etc., you can pretty much bet that right next door with a very thin wall so all the noise can be heard is where she thinks about sex. Have you ever stayed in a hotel with very thin walls and people are making a lot of noise in the room next door to you? Right? And it really agitates you in your room. If you can get a woman talking about this stuff, this is going to get activated. And for many women, they overlap. The way they think about food and chocolate is a sexual kind of experience. This is how I came up with the snack quiz. Does everyone know my snack quiz pattern? Who doesn't know it? We'll go through it. It is covered in your RJ training collection, what I also call the virtual vaginal victory vault. It's there in there. But the snack quiz I got from actually being at a car wash, and two women were sitting there talking to each other, and one of them was eating Ritz crackers and the other one was eating like little goldfish snacks. And one said to her, "What are you eating?" "Oh, Ritz crackers." "I like these goldfish snacks, but Ritz, what do you like to put on them?" She says, "Well, when I'm in bed, I put peanut butter on them, and sometimes I put cheese on them." She says, "I like them naked, but you know what? I like them without anything on. But you know what I also like is I like this." And they pretty soon you could see the sexual tension starting to build between these two women, and it was almost like, you know how, not that I would know this, but in a cheap porno movie they have that music, da 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 da. You almost hear it in the background. I thought, holy fuck, they're handing me a pattern. Because for many women, any kind of sensual indulgence is related to sex. So this is a really good topic.
Another way to put that is anything that gets women into their physical body sensations in a pleasant way. Any kind of theme that allows a woman to access pleasant body sensations, probably sooner or later, if she's sufficiently sexual, and usually sooner than later, will cross over into sexual sensation.
Indulgence. So indulgence is a great one. Escape. Escape. And adventure
Now, one way to become familiar with these themes so that you don't feel like you're talking out of your ass is to experience them for yourself, to experience your own indulgence. What is it like for you when you experience indulgence? What are the ways in which you experience it? When you want to escape and enjoy adventure, how do you do that? And if you haven't, go fucking do it.
And discovery. Oh my goodness, are these good ones? You Brits, you Europeans, how many of you?
I should say this is taken from my London seminar in April.
Know where Las Vegas is? How many have heard of Las Vegas, Nevada? Some of you have never heard of Las Vegas? Is anyone here who's never heard of Las Vegas? What is the famous marketing branding slogan for Las Vegas? One more time. What do you think that is? What fundamental human truth is that addressing?
Now, you could actually bring this up as a pattern with some girl you're talking to. You could say, hey, Debbie, you ever seen this ad, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? You know, I was thinking about it, realize that ad actually, even though it's an ad, is reflecting a fundamental truth. And she'll say, what do you mean? And you say, well, here's why. And then you give her this, what I'm about to say here.
Wanting to hide.
Huh?
Sex, gambling.
That's not, what truth is that hiding? Yeah. What's that?
Releasing your inhibitions.
That's,
If people don't know about it.
if people don't know about it, then you feel more free to do it. Vegas is a place where you can go to get away with the stuff you really want to do. It's pointing out a human truth that there's your social behavior, and then there's what you really just can't wait to get to.
Now, you see the distinction? This is the contrast principle in doing pattern language. So I say there's your social behavior, and then there's what you just can't wait to get into. And I'm pointing to my pants. I'm pointing to my cock. So right then and there, I'm beginning the sexualizing of the conversation. If I was doing this with a woman, I could just as easily, obviously I'm not sexualizing it with my students, but this is the kind of discussion you can have with a woman. So I'm contrasting the social part of the mind with the part of the mind where all you think about is what you just can't wait to get into.
You understand? And if you could get permission to do it and not get caught, you do.
And so to turn these into suggestions, I would say, if you could get permission to do it and not get caught,
A lot of naughty shit.
you could think of a lot of naughty shit. You hear the suggestions, do it, don't get caught, think of a lot of naughty shit. Those can easily be turned into suggestions just by shifting the tonality and slowing down a bit. Now, here in this discussion with my students, I don't want them to be suggestions because I don't want my students thinking in sexual ways about me. But this whole thing would easily be turned into a pattern if you just slow down and say, think of all sorts of naughty shit.
And it appeals to a fundamental fantasy of women, being in the presence of a guy where, okay, fuck it. The
You see there? It appeals. This is all true, too.
guy is so powerful or so intriguing, they feel free to do all the dirty, nasty shit.
Here comes the command. So if I wanted to turn it into commands and suggestions, I would say they feel free to do all the dirty, nasty shit. Feel free, do all the dirty, nasty shit. Go back and play this little part again slowly. Stop it, and you'll hear the suggestions. Now, the way I'm presenting it, they're not suggestions because I'm not in a sexual state and I'm going really fast. But they could easily be turned into that.
That they wouldn't even want their girlfriends to know about. You understand? I had a hairdresser. Her name was Jill. Jill's quite a beautiful, interesting girl, and I used to flirt with Jill pretty madly. But Jill told me that she went to Vegas, and she said, well, do you think I cheated on my boyfriend? I said, what do you mean? She said, well, I made out with a girl, and then I made out with a guy. I said, making out with a guy is cheating. Making out with a girl, no, feel free. But women will make all sorts of excuses to bend. Well, it didn't really count because I was in Vegas. Or it didn't really count because I was drunk. Or it didn't really count because I was fighting with him that day. So escape and adventure and discovery. These are really, really great themes to bring up.
Okay, this is going to be a huge file, so we'll break this up into multiple modules.